Okay, here we go with a game of Selesnya Adventures. Hopefully we draw Edgewall Innkeeper. Not this time. But, too bad we have the one Castle Ardent Vale. It's punishing us in this hand. Because if this was a Plains, we would have a turn 3 Loxodon. But, this hand is awkward enough that I'm considering mulliganing. We can play 2 1-drops on turn 2. But, I think this deck is one where you want to mulligan aggressively. If this was a Plains, I would keep, but since it's not, there's just not quite enough going right in that hand. This hand is pretty bad as well, but I think we'll just go with it and hope we find better stuff. I'm going to err towards playing the adventure before the actual adventure creatures because we could still draw Edgewall Innkeeper on turn 2. But this is not the type of draw we're looking for with this deck. Well, alright. They trade off, so they presumably have more 1/1s as well. I'll probably just play these creatures out. Not that exciting, but we have to get damage in somehow. Waiting around to draw an Innkeeper just doesn't seem right. Okay, another 1/1. Well, here we go. Our opponent's on Jund, so it could be like Jund Adventure. I've seen like Lucky Clover decks that are just playing red for Bone Crusher Giant. I'm not really sure why. I think the Golgari one is a similar deck that's better. But it's good against us now, I would say. Alright, so this game's not looking too promising because our draw whiffed. Perhaps our first hand was way better. Venerated Loxodon is the all-star that's not named Edgewall Innkeeper, and we mulliganed a hand that had it. So maybe that was wrong. Well, they clearly left mana open for removal because they could have played one of those awesome creatures. Hopefully they play something that does 1 damage, of which I can't think of anything because this only gives 1 toughness. Oh, and anyway, it's a sorcery. So I should have just played this out. That was a mistake. Okay, unexciting draw continues. This deck kind of feels like a modern deck where you're just kind of like hoping for a nuts opening hand, and if you don't have it, you just kind of play an anemic beatdown plan. But hopefully we get to showcase the explosive draws of the deck. So the question is, do we want to trade off these things? And I think we do. It's not really, well, yeah, it's fine. It's not likely to be able to attack that much anyway. I am going to catch one of these in just to get closer to 6 for the other one. Slightly thin the deck, I guess. So this deck effectively runs 25 lands if you count the 4 Flower Flourish. And the back half only counts as a spell if you're actually doing things, which this draw is not doing things. Let's see. I have a ton of creatures. This feels pretty bad. We'll just get that down. Alright, so this at least gives us enough creatures to threaten something with Flourish. but we're still a long way away from being in a good spot. Did they just cast a Murderous Rider? Seems like they did something wrong there. Drew a March, so that's exciting. 4-9. So, yeah, I guess we'll just do that. Do I want to get in for 2 with the Fairy Guide Mother? I think yes. I don't know. I think a token will be better because we're planning to bump it to 3-3. Just has to get in once to break even on that. So X will be 6. Well, they found their copy, and now they get to cast one of their. They should probably cast the Bone Crusher because they can draw more adventure creatures. So they're doing the thing our deck is designed to do better, even though ours is more focused on it. I do like the Lucky Clover into Beanstalk Giant interaction, but I can just take this hit really. 1, 2, 3, 4 blockers, so we can theoretically get him for 18 if we draw a land. Yeah, whatever. I mean, a 1/1 is probably worth 10 life, but I'm not too worried about dying. Hopefully that counted right. Convoke, just everything. Just do it. Yay. Come on, land. Okay, we just Loxodon. So they can block 4 things, which is too many, really. Let's see. They don't have a good block on the left stroke beast, but let's assume they block. That's 4, 5, 6 getting through. It's not really worth it. I think I'll just go with the big creatures, because a trade-off is good for us. They can block a Murderous Rider and Bone Crusher just to gain 2 life. I think we would kill the Murderous Rider in that spot. I think this is fine. It's not the greatest. Yeah, we're just gonna kill Murderous Rider. So there wasn't really a need to attack there, but feels fine. I guess I want to block with the non-life linking one, now that I think about it. Probably should have sent with more tokens, I'm not sure. Just added 9 power to the board. Alright, so we're still just looking for a land now, I guess. That's not the end of the world. They do have another black mana to cast the relevant half, but losing 4 life there was pretty bad for them. It's gonna be a close one. We can find land. They need another blocker. Okay. So we have 7 attackers, so right now, even if we had drawn a land, it wouldn't have been lethal because they gain 2 life and would only go to 3. So we're gonna have to find more. So what's the best thing we could find? I guess Giant Killer would be reasonable. Let's see what happens. So there's Giant Killer, there's Shrostani, which is pretty solid. This costs 3 to play, it's an instant. So, they have 2 Beanstalk Giants though. We could go for an Innkeeper of our own, but then we're still have to draw more action. So maybe I should have waited on this once upon a time. Because it's unclear if I should take this Edgewall Innkeeper. But I think the Giant Killer is just good enough that we're going to go for it. I am going to wait a turn. Because if they attack with anything, that's good for us. I would, like, if they attack with Beanstalk, I would just kill the Bone Crusher Giant afterwards. Most likely. I don't know. Maybe just jump blocking is too bad, though. Sadly, we were mana short of casting the Giant Killer that turn, or else I would have just played it at sorcerer speed. Okay. So they have 5 blockers, we have 7 attackers, we can only get through with 2 of them, so it's still not worth doing yet. Get this creature in play, and then like next turn cycle it can theoretically tap down a creature, I guess. So we're getting there, but if they ever attack with stuff, it's bad for us. Okay, well... They are kind of getting us. They're at 6, but, you know, our creatures would have gotten through for 3 anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but 4 life gain. If we draw a second March, that's good, obviously, but sadly they're the one drawing cards right now with Innkeeper. Bone Crusher was a good find. Alright, I think we'll give it another draw step, but they can honestly just attack whenever they want and they'll win. Yeah. Alright. I'll give it one more turn to draw March, but then we're out. Okay. So we're 0-2 with this deck, so not great, but the first game was apparently a bad matchup, and the second game bad draw, so we don't draw conclusions just yet. Right, here we go for game 3, trying to get a game win with Selesnya. Pardon my swallowing. I have a bit of a cough today, so I need to drink water. Interesting. Triple Loxodon with nothing to cast. I'm gonna try it, I guess, because it's the best card in the deck that's not Innkeeper, as I said before. Just hope to draw a second creature. Like if we draw a 1-drop, next turn we can play Fire Flourish plus 1-drop, so then we could turn 3 Loxodon. Alright, so I need to play this for a Plains, not for a Forest. And then we can play the Loxodon. Although we're against a Water Grave deck, so the start is less good, but okay. They probably will Thought Erasure us this turn, which doesn't do anything. Or removal would be what we actually don't want to see. Oh, it's like a Reanimator deck. I haven't played against this in a while, but if they pull it off on time, it will be very good for them. So next turn is our first big decision of the game. We have to decide whether to start attacking or play another Loxodon. Or, I mean, if we do play Loxodon, how many creatures to put into it. They already have the key card in their graveyard. Well, now there's 2. So we're not specifically worried about the Scion. That's a pretty good draw, actually. So we can... Oh, we only have 1 green, though. I think I still will Lovestruck Beast the adventure side. If we make the 1/1 bigger, though, it doesn't... the Lovestruck Beast can't attack, so that's awkward. I guess I can make 1/1s with castle if I draw land, but that's pretty slow. So this is a tricky turn. I want to attack, but I also want to play Loxodon. Let's see. If I make a 1/1 and play Loxodon with 4 creatures. This is a challenging turn. I think I don't really value the 3 mana version of this card, so I'm guaranteed to play this adventure. So now what do we want to do? I want to convoke with 1, 2, 3, and then pay mana. And try to get in for 4. I'm just going to ignore the Royal Silence, I think. Could be wrong. So hopefully they don't have... Well, I think the main removal spell, the main reanimation spell is Bond Revival that we're scared of. So we have a turn to get around that, because it basically just wrecks our board if they pull it off. At which point we're just drawing to 1 copy of Conclave Tribunal, I think. I guess, we have 4 Giant Killers, so that would be good as well. It's Dragon Killer. They discarded Blood for Bones, which is a really bad sign. It means they already have what they need, so next turn we're going to get Dragoned. So we just have to bash their face in and hope it works. We found Once Upon a Time, so that could find us a number of things. Let's see, if we find Fairy Guide Mother, it's actually lethal, although there's only 2 left in the deck, because we would give this flying, that'd be 6, 12. So I guess we go for that, and if we miss, we're hoping for Giant Killer for next turn, but our board will be wiped, so so let's see. Okay, we found a Mara, we found a land. I think we'll get a Mara. Well, we can't cast it, but it's a close one again. Perhaps I will just take a land so I can play Lovestruck Beast and have castle activations open, because that's one way we could squeak in damage this game. So that's 6, they block there. Oh, sorry, I missed the math. We just have lethal on board. I didn't realize, I forgot this was a 2/2. Sorry about all that. I'm sure people were watching and screaming in their heads. Yeah, I thought I was 1 short for some reason. Alright, so we did get a win with the deck. We still haven't had an Innkeeper draw, but we just played some green-white creatures, and, well, I guess that was that game showed why Venerated Loxodon is in the deck. But we're really here to draw cards, so let's find a game like that. Theoretically, if you draw cards, you get to have the Loxodon draws also. The thing I like about the Golgari version of the deck, which we also wrote about on the website, is it has Order of Midnight and Fine Finality, so if they kill your Innkeepers, you just get to keep recasting them, so you're more likely to actually have it stick. But in this deck, you have so many 1-drops that you can get the value before they even have mana to cast removal. Alright, we have a Loxodon draw that's not perfect, but close, so we're going to go for it. We're on the draw, so we still could have them up draw. Evolving Wilds could be anything. Lovestruck Beast, you say? I can't think of too many creatures that a 1/2 could get through that a 1/1 can't, or specifically that a 1/1 we wouldn't want to attack with. So I'm going to get the adventure off so that if on turn 3 our best move is playing a 5/5, we've already gotten value out of this card. But I could see it going either way. We don't really have information yet on which color of mana will be more constricted. Oh, I forgot that this makes a white creature. That's pretty cool for Loxodon, although you're never really going to have 0 white creatures. Okay, I guess that's sort of another reason to play the Lovestruck Beast adventure there, because it hides from the Thought Erasure. Not that they would take it, but it's worth noting for future games where an adventure creature would be our best card the following turn. So we're just going to learn some interactions throughout these games and go from there. Okay. Well, I think I'll just play this crappy 3-1. Beats pretty hard. They know about our marches, so they're a lot worse because they know to contain our board as much as possible. Well, we've had some mediocre draws, and this is our 4th game playing as this deck. And our 2nd or 3rd mediocre draw, depending on how you count the first one. Okay. Sure. Guess I'd rather have this flying creature in play. Not really doing anything right now. So it worked out that we wanted the green mana for Lovestruck Beast, but at the time we had no way to know. Although it's pretty close, but there are slightly more white creatures in the deck. So here they'll probably take a march. Well, we drew a good card, but we were nowhere near casting it, so here we go. If they ever play some kind of sweeper on this board, I'll just concede because we're too far behind. We're not hitting land drops, we're not doing damage. Just not a great game. They could also just cast their 2/3 lifelink and it'd be pretty good right now. Drawn to the lock, huh? Alright, so that's a good draw. So we're going to get to draw a card immediately, so we'll just do it. And then, I mean, they're going to have a way to kill it, but if they don't, then we're doing stuff, finally. We could march for 1, but nope. Alright, so we're in a better spot now than we were last turn, but still going to need to have some things go right for us. Pretty solid. They killed our best creature and got a good blocker in play. Yeah, we'll get a plains. So we're gonna actually start casting stuff. Question is, do we want to march for 2 this turn? Oh, I tapped wrong, so I guess we're not marching for 2. But I will be able to tap this creature. So we'll do that instead. I got ahead of myself there when I tapped the forest. But I don't know if I would have wanted to cast a march for 2 anyway. It's close. They're kind of low on cards actually. That kind of changes it. But they only have 2 mana left, so they don't get to play their lifelink creature this turn. Removal is fine, but we don't really care. Means we don't get to kill Narset, I suppose. But that's not a big deal. I think what I'm gonna do is, let's see. I could just play Lovestruck Beast this round. 1 to Narset, 1 to them. Well, 2 to Narset prevents them from finding a card, right? And I don't actually care about the static ability, so it's not like normal decks. I could march only for 1 if I want to attack, so it looks like we're going to play the Love Struck Beast. Yeah, we'll leave the plains open and bluff the bounce thing, Shepherd of the Flock. Since they only have 1 card in hand, I'm going for the Narset. If they had a stack of 4 cards, I would just try to get the damage in since they're already at 12. But they have a lifelink creature, so I'm not expecting to be able to cheap shot them. I'm gonna have to actually stick these marches. Alright, so they had a second Narset, but at least they had to invest 3 mana into it to find an answer. It's likely that the 2/3 lifelink will be their best play this turn anyway. Best possible play this turn. If I draw a land, is it better to cast Trostani or March? It's unclear to me. Trostani is a... what is this? Draw 4 cards. For 4 mana. Guess that's fine. Once Upon a Time or March for 4. If we attack, they'll just retrade for one of their creatures, which is something, but not that impressive or important. If I cast March now, we're vulnerable to like sweepers like Cry the Canarium. If I cast it later, we're vulnerable to counter spells, such as Drown in the Lock, which would work on anything now. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna March for the maximum, and I'll wait as long as possible. Though it could be incorrect to do it that way. You're gonna draw a lot of cards, so this is not great, but they have to find stuff. Hopefully their deck's a lot of 1-for-1 type cards. As opposed to high numbers of Cry of the Carnarium. Or they whiffed. Cool. It's lucky. Alright, so I'm going to stick to my plan. They have 3 mana available for either of the 2 aforementioned options. So we'll just see what they do. They know about the March, so it's not like it's sketchy to leave these creatures back. They know it's coming. I mean, technically we can just let that resolve, because we have 2. They thought they were taking out the first one, but we'll just cast the other one. And it's still good for them, but they don't get to disrupt our plan the way they thought they would. Wow, so they took the Trostani, so they're going to have an answer to the second March or it'll be massive. But this makes sense because we would have had a much better attack on our turn. Forgot to cast this. Creature cards, graveyards and libraries. I don't think we have anything that would care about this. Huh. Alright, so we could cast a massive March. It's too bad we only have 4 lands and not 5, because then Flourish would be a real threat. Let's just think this through though. What could I Once Upon a Time for? If I get the pump spell, we wouldn't be able to cast Giant Killer. What's our maximum March right now? 5, 6, 7. So for 8, which is a lot. Am I going to want mana next turn? I think maybe, because Once Upon a Time could find Giant Killer, which we could cast immediately. So I'm gonna Flower Flourish for Forest, even though it would be good soon. I don't think the game will last that long one way or the other. Do I want to get the damage in or kill the Narset? I don't think... I mean, if I draw an Innkeeper, I'll want to be able to use it, so let's just get Narset off the table. I think that's more likely than the 1 damage being the way the game is decided. So, I wonder if I'm not thinking of any adventure creature I should have dug for that turn. Third Narset. Their mana is still taxed, but we're still trying to fade specifically Cry of the Carnarium. Which they might not even run main deck, who knows? I mean, we're playing best of one. Well, they found Sabotage, so instead of March, we're just going to cast Once Upon a Time end of turn and see if they interact with it. I mean, it's not correct for them to, but we might as well give them a chance to make a mistake. Because we can still cast March. Okay, okay. So we have to decide between Loxodon and Innkeeper? Innkeeper doesn't currently do anything. Loxodon asks us to invest our ability to play March, though. But I think it's good enough that we're just going to take it. This decision could be game deciding, though. I mean, Let's Chuck Beast is an option, I guess. Let's see. Let's go Loxodon. That's an interesting draw. So I kind of want to just do it and see if they counter it. Let's tap properly because I don't know how this will handle it. If they counter it, we're like, cool, no big deal. If they don't, then we can attack this turn. So this is a pretty big point in favor of Giant Killer. That was pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to attack them with the Fairy and Luster Beast and Narset, I think. Could be wrong. Should probably just go for the face. But I'm either denying them a blocker or a Planeswalker, so it seems fine. If they countered the first half of the Giant Killer, it would have just gone to the graveyard, so... Not that one. Yeah, that one. Because they could potentially play Witches, whatever it is, the thing that does -3/-3 to a creature type. So, Soldier, Human, yeah, we want to diversify a little bit. I also put it on the Giant Killer because it would survive Cry of the Carnarium. If they Sinister Sabotage that, I'm fine with it. Because March is still our best card at this point. So we're still kind of treading water. You know, we win if they don't find a sweeper, and they win if they do. Probably. Kefnet A. We have 16 cards in our graveyard, and we could cast March for 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So, still counters it. It's kind of interesting. Going through a lot of cards, I guess. Wow, that's good. Now that we have 5 lands, we can actually hold that in our hands. So what should we do now? They might draw into the lock. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to attack. Everything at their face. Except for Giant Killer. Did I hold priority here? I'm not sure. Alright. I didn't need to do it like that, but. So this will put them to around 6, presumably. And now we got rid of their counter spell for our march once again. So that's all you can really ask for out of a turn, I guess. Once again, treading water on the do they have removal question. Sorry, sweeper. Their deck does look pretty fun if you're into control though. A lot of sweet cards. But they just need to find specifically a sweeper, which they've dug through with 4 Narsets now. So, you know, it's got to be up there if they have it in their deck. No, more 1-for-1 removal, so we're in good shape in that regard. Okay, well. They say good game, but it's not literally good game here. Let's see. We can get him to 2. Or we can march. I think what I'm going to do is once upon a time, see what happens. Okay. Huh. Giant Killer's just great. It seems like a good card. Even against control, it's awesome. So this doesn't give them lethal, but it's once again putting some damage on them while forcing them to interact. Okay, so we just killed it. Cool. So do I want to put 2 damage at the Narset? I think yes. Or even 3, but 2 is fine, I believe. Because once again, any number of 1-for-1 removals is not going to get the job done. So, well actually, yeah, for that reason I want to not let them just keep the Narset alive at 2. They'll be at 4. Alright, so now they have fewer outs. Fewer chances to find their outs. They've dug through their entire deck, it seems like, so I don't know where their sweeper of choice is. Maybe they only run 1 copy or 0 copies. But that's too arrogant. You can't do that. Alright, they did gain 4 life, which is relevant. So maybe we have to commit to this march now if we don't find a land. If we find a land, we go for the kill. Yeah, in theory we get 12 damage through, so let's do it. If it doesn't resolve, we can just not attack, so. Cool. So if they have a removal, they're still dead. So Flower Flourish was very good this game. Alright, we started off with some losses, but we're starting to pick up some W's. I think what I'm going to do is play one more game with this deck, and then I'm going to end the recording and keep playing with another deck. We still haven't gone nuts with Innkeeper though. Maybe I have to keep playing this until we do that. The odds should be very high. There's 4 Innkeepers and 4 Once Upon a Time, so we can cast on turn 1. Okay, let's see if it happens this time. We have a solid draw if it doesn't come together. I think I'll play Temple Garden turn 1 no matter what. Alright, we missed, but we found Loxodon, which is almost as good. So, we'll do that. So, yeah, last game we saw the power of Giant Killer as a removal spell. Having a 1-drop that's relevant, has relevant text, and is a removal spell is kind of like Murderous Rider in the black decks, so yeah, this card is really good, I would say, in this archetype. You can't just throw it in any white deck like you can in Murderous Rider. Alright, we're up against one of those Gutter Bones type decks, so that's cool. See how it goes. I don't necessarily want to take damage from my lands, so I will now go back to normal. I just want to get bodies in play for the Loxodon. We can't quite do everything next turn. We'll probably just play Loxodon. We can't Love Struck Beast plus Loxodon though, that's what I was talking about. If they attack, I would just take it. Our bodies are worth a lot right now. I could trade Giant Killer for Fireblade Artist though. That actually seems good to me because it's a sack outlet. So let's see. Yeah, we'll do it. It just gives them more options if they have it in play. And we're trading a 1-drop for a 2-drop, so I learned that that was good to do in Magic. Oh, Amara is a great draw. So let's just double check. We play Amara. Then we only have 4. That's awkward. Do I just play a 5/5? Maybe I do. Because then next turn I can do 2 things. And I'm also putting a really good blocker in play. So this is looking solid. Alright, let's see. We could be attacking this turn, but I don't know if that matters as much as getting hit on board. So if I play Amara, we can cast Loxodon for the full value. Seems good. Because then we're generating more board presence for March, and that's going to be enough to go over the top of our opponent. Plus our board is just massive now. Like we can probably win what's already in play. We might just start sending with our larger creatures. It seems like this deck takes a lot of decision making on when to exactly cast March of the Multitudes. Let's see, so they're getting us. Okay, they gave up. Alright, well, since we still haven't done Innkeeper, I have to keep going for it. That's the main reason we're playing the deck. It's not supposed to be this infrequent. It just has been so far. I think with 4 of in a deck, it's like 40% to see it in your opening hand. And then so that means there's also a 40, in those 60% chances you don't have it, well, we do have it. So, I mean, our hand is really light other than this, so we're gonna have to get lucky, but we have to keep it. No. This one. This one. Okay, almost cast Frog Flash. I guess we didn't because it would have asked us to choose which side. Ooh, I wonder if this is like a mono black Iara type deck. Could also just be, alright, so we've already gotten value off of our Innkeeper, even if they kill it now. I'm just going to search for a second forest because we already have 2 planes and we're not going to need all 3 of these as 6 drops. Then deck a little. I'm not attacking, no way. There's a lot of really cool options with Cauldron Familiar Witch's Oven, which we've made a lot of videos and articles about that. It looks like they might be on the mono black IR version, which we were playing yesterday to pretty good effect. This draw kind of stinks. I'll just play 6 power of creatures this turn. Not that exciting, but definitely helps us get on board. I guess I should play forest, but it doesn't matter. Still trying to figure out the best audio setup. There's a lot of background noise. What do we block? I think the Reaver. Non-token creatures are the most valuable, and Call Them Familiar they want in the graveyard usually. I see. I just wanted to get that. Okay, so I think I'm just going to... Well, we already have 6 lands in our hand. So I'm going to tap down the Spawn of Mayhem, I guess. But for now, I'll just attack for 4. This is going to come down to Eraser, looks like. Uh-oh. Alright, we're a little flooded here, but we'll keep going. If we ever draw an adventure creature, it could draw us into more. Drawing a giant killer would be awesome, because it kills their thing, and we draw a card. Oh, one of them will get a counter, I guess, but that's okay. It doesn't seem like we'll be able to win this game, because we don't leave mana untapped. They have lethal in the air. Yeah, that's pretty good. The IRA deck is probably, I mean, personally I think it's really good, and it's also fun. Well, we can theoretically have one more turn if they don't have much, so we'll take it. But they'll get to put us at 4, and then they could theoretically just play a couple creatures and drain us. We'll see. We have the Edgekeepers and the Innkeepers in play, we just don't have enough time to draw a single adventure creature after casting them. Like we had our opening hand and then we didn't have anything else. Just lands this game. I guess we'll be at 2, so all they need is 2 creatures. And we don't have a good block on the IR either. Do we have any shot here? Can't really think of what it would be. Oh, I guess we do have 1-drop flyers we could draw. Oh no, we're just dead. So the build we were running didn't have Spawn of Mayhem in it, but it did seem pretty good that game. It just gets damage in. But against a lot of the decks, like against removal based decks, I don't like it because, I mean, I guess you do want to kill Ayara, but I don't know. There's not that much else that's good to stick a removal spell at. But maybe it's good enough. It's really easy to get Spectacle in that deck. So some people are playing like Drillbit. No green and none of, like no nut draw, so we're just gonna try again. Okay, so keep this one. We'll get rid of, yeah, Flyer Flourish. And then we'll go for the Innkeeper. We'll miss. Put that in play. And wonder why we haven't started with very many Innkeepers. We're on like game 6 or 7, and we've only drawn 1 card off of Innkeeper, I think. Okay, let's get a Plains. Let's play a Plains. Let's play some derps. Nothing exciting going on here. I think we'll just move on. It's going to be a slow, agonizing loss. Nobody wants to watch that. Obviously, we still had like, you know, a 20% chance or whatever to win that game, but it's not like we're playing for stakes. We're just playing to show what the deck can do, and that was a very bad draw against a slow opponent. Alright. We've got some 1-drops, but nothing good. So this is like the kind of hand I'm not sure what you should be doing with, because all it does is cast some random garbage, right? but it's a good mix of lands and random spells. So, my inclination is to mulligan it, but I'm just going to try it to see if this kind of hand can win. So it looks like we're constrained on white mana, so I'm just going to go ahead and play a white creature this turn. It's so pointless to play Once Upon a Time right now. So people need to learn this. You don't play it until you've already drawn for your turn. And if you don't have 1-drops in your deck, you don't play it till your second turn. Unless, I don't know, maybe you can find it to come and play tap lane. But you should think about what you're doing. No, this one. Possibly we wanted to play Flower Flourish this turn to guarantee a 5/5 next turn. But we might draw it anyway, and this just gets them on board. I don't know. Oh, I think we're playing against the Great Henge deck, like the Golgari Rotting Register into the Great Henge. Oh, cool. We finally got to do it. I think I will Flower Flourish for planes, even though, well, there's more upside if we draw planes, but I'll just get a land into play. We could have gambled, but it's not hugely relevant. Alright, so if we get to untap with our Innkeeper, we're happy that we finally pulled it off, but if not, it drew one card already. They can pump either, so our blocks are bad, so let's just let it happen. Turn this into a race. Now that we have such a big board, we're drawing to Loxodon and March of the Multitudes. Alright, so we do get to go off with Innkeeper, so this will be fun. Alternatively, I could just use the Giant Killer on the Register, which actually seems pretty solid. Just kind of sad, because I would rather play a bunch of spells this turn. It's kind of close, I think. I think what I'm going to do is play this card. It replaces itself, so it can just block. Yeah, I'm happy with this. We don't really need to spend 3 mana when we're going off like this. So I'm glad we finally got to showcase the potential of this type of deck. Yeah, we drew Tribunal anyway, so let's just kill the Register now. That one, and that one. Cool, that was solid. Point for a Conclave Tribunal being good. It's the first time we drew it, and it was very good. But then again, if you have a bad draw, it could be bad as well. Alright, so this is definitely a racing situation, because we can't block that currently. 4, 5, 6, 7, we're at 8. Okay. Let's see, we have how much damage in play? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think I can just bounce the Giant Killer and cast it. Although that uses all our mana, but then we don't have to worry about dying. I don't mind that play. Let's do it. Let's try it. It seems cool. Because now we have an extra adventure creature to cast. So like we have infinite value next turn, basically. I'm not going to block with those. Alright, and they gave up. So that was the power of Innkeeper. So we finally got to pull it off. It took us a number of games, but we got to show what the point of the deck is. And we won plenty of games along the way that we didn't do that much impressive stuff. So definitely a deck worth considering. And yeah, we're going to end this recording for YouTube watchers, and then I'm going to be right back with another deck in a few minutes.